In this one, we are going to be going over one of, if not the most important aspects of your entire agency, and the thing that is going to determine how far and how efficiently you are going to scale your agency. And that thing is offer creation. The offer you create is going to be what directly correlates to the level of scaling your agency is going to see. If you have a bad offer, you're not going to scale. If you have an amazing offer, you will scale very, very effortlessly. But before we even dive into crafting a high converting offer, we are going to first cover what even is an offer? What is an offer? Some people might be starting out and have no clue what an offer is. So what even is an offer? An offer is not just your product or service or what you're giving to the client. It is the total package of what this client is receiving for their time, money, or attention. This is the results they'll get, what's included, the price, the risk reversal, the guarantee, absolutely everything, the transformation, everything that is a part of this package is what your offer encompasses. Results, delivery, price, guarantee, risk reversal, and transformation. And the offer is not just limited to these things, but these are what are a part of most main and well-constructed offers. Now, why does a strong offer matter? Because it's very easy to create a very weak, shitty offer, but you don't want that. So you need to create a strong offer. And why is a strong offer so important? Because even if you have very average or subpar marketing, targeting, your ads are just not very good, but your offer is amazing, you will still crush it. But a terrible offer will not make up for any sort of amazing marketing, amazing targeting, none of that. Great copy, you could be the best copywriter in the world, the best ad specialist in the world, but if you have a shitty offer, it will not matter. The offer is superior to absolutely everything inside of your agency. And it is what will determine how effortlessly and efficiently you are able to scale. Get your offer right and absolutely everything inside of the agency will feel 10 times easier. I promise you that. Now, what we're going to be talking about next is how to structure the offer. You have two main ways that you go about your offer, and one is going to make things increasingly more difficult for you as you start to build things out inside of your agency, acquisition, all of this sort of marketing. It's going to make it a lot tougher to get clients. And there's these two types of offers that I want to discuss. One is going to be an outcome-based offer, and the other is going to be a feature-based offer. Now, what is the difference between these? Just based off the name, it's probably fairly self-explanatory. But the features, of course, what the features are simply describing what something is. It has 5 modules. We're going to be running your ads. You're going to be getting weekly calls. It's simply what the offer is. And you may be wondering, well, what it is, that's pretty cool, right? Because that's what you're giving to the business. That's what you're offering to the person. But who really cares what it is? People don't really care. Oh, you're gonna be running my ads. You're gonna be building me this AI voice agent. You're gonna be building me this N8N template. You're gonna be building me XYZ sort of features or intricate aspects into my business. They do not give two shits about what you are building for them. They care what it is going to do for them, which is why the outcome-based offer is so much more effective in the way that you want to structure your entire offer. What is an outcome-based offer? The outcome-based offer simply describes what your business or offer does, what it does. Whereas the feature-based offer, describes what it is, the outcome-based offer describes what it does. And what do you think is gonna be more appealing to the business? The outcome-based offer or the feature-based offer? It is always, every single time going to be the outcome-based offer. Every single time the outcome-based offer will beat the feature-based offer. And why is that? Because if you go to a business and you say, hey, we're gonna be running your ads, we're gonna be building you a voice agent to book those appointments, and we're going to be making all these sequences for you, they're gonna be like, okay, that's cool, but what does that do for me? Whereas if you go to a business and you lay out, hey, we're gonna be getting you 20 extra estimates. Say you go to a roofing company, we're gonna be getting you 15 to 20 extra estimates per month, guaranteed or you don't pay. That is an outcome-based offer. They don't know how we're gonna do it. We might be using ads, we might be doing cold calling, we might be reaching out to these people, we might be going door to door. But they do not care. I have spoken to so many businesses where we'll say, even though our offer is outcome-based, once we get into breaking down how we do that for them, a lot of the times they'll say, yeah, that's cool. I really don't care how you get me these jobs. If you get me these jobs, I will pay and I will stick with you. I quite literally had a client of ours say, when we closed them, he said, I don't care if you use AI to book our appointments. I don't care if you use people. He literally said, I don't care if you use hamsters. He quite literally said word for word, I don't care if you use hamsters to book us appointments. If you get me the appointments, I will be happy and I will stay. And he's actually still an active client of ours because we have an outcome-based offer that focuses on the delivery and the outcome and what they can expect working with us, not the shiny objects, the features, because they simply do not care. You could have the coolest features, the coolest aspects, the coolest AI agents as a part of your offer, but if you do not deliver a good outcome for the client, it doesn't mean anything. You are essentially just a terrible agency at that point. It doesn't even matter how cool the features are. If you don't deliver a good outcome, nobody's going to close, nobody's going to work with you, and every single client is going to churn after they see, oh, these guys sold me on these cool features, but it doesn't do shit for my business. The golden phrase you want to keep in mind from a business's perspective when you are constructing your offer, this is the number one question you want to ask. What transformation will I experience? That is the question that you need to keep in mind when you are constructing your offer and you are pitching it to businesses. This is from the client's perspective. They are always going to be wondering, what transformation can I expect to experience? Because that is what's going to sell them. If you sell them the dream of, oh my God, I'm going to be getting 20 extra estimates per month, I'm going to be making an extra 100,000 a month, that is the transformation they can expect from your offer. And that is the number one question that you want to keep in mind when you are constructing this. Now, the next thing that we're going to be going over is what we call the value equation. And this is coined by Alex Hormozi. This is used all across business. And it's very important to keep in mind when you're constructing your offer. This is essentially the golden formula for how to make the most appealing offer possible. And what this value equation consists of is 4 parts. The first part is the dream outcome. What is the client actually going to expect to achieve? What is the dream outcome? Dream outcome right here. And so it's going to be dream outcome times perceived likelihood of success. So they have the dream outcome, but how likely is it they are actually going to achieve it? Perceived likelihood of success. Now, this is the top part of the equation. So you can see it's a dream outcome times perceived likelihood of success. So let's say the dream outcome is they're going to make an extra $100,000 a month for this roofing company. That's the dream outcome you're selling them. Now, that outcome's amazing, but how likely is it that they're actually going to achieve it? Because the most appealing offer that you can possibly create is the perceived likelihood of success is 100%, right? Because if you can guarantee with absolute 100% certainty that they're going to achieve that dream outcome, that is the most appealing it can be, right? It can't be more than 100%. 100% is the highest. And on the flip side, if it is a 0% chance that they're going to achieve that outcome, you now have a very terrible offer that's probably not going to sell very good. Now, this is the top part of the outcome. You want to make this top part of the equation as high as humanly possible. Of course, the perceived likelihood of success caps at 100%, but the dream outcome could be anything, right? If you, like a super appealing dream outcome is making $10 million, right? This is a, of course, this is a hyperbole of an example, but if you make a dream outcome, you will make $10 million, and is it 100% likelihood that you will achieve that outcome? That's a very, very appealing offer. That's a no-brainer for anybody. That's just a very extreme example, but that is the top part of the equation. And now the bottom part of the equation is the flip side. And so you have these outcomes, these top parts of the equation, which you want to make as high as humanly possible. On the flip side, the bottom parts you want to make as low as humanly possible. Now, the first part of it is time delay. How long is it going to take to achieve this outcome? Because if you have an offer, let's say it's the make $100,000 for your roofing company, and you have a, let's say 100% chance of success, but it's in 50 years, that's probably not going to be that's going to completely just negate the 100% success chance. Okay, cool, it's a 100% chance I'll make that extra 100,000 a month, but I have to wait 50 years. That's not very appealing. And so, of course, with time delay, on the flip side of this being as high as possible, the top side, we want time delay to be as low as possible. Because so far with the variables that we have in this equation, if we make the dream outcome, the $100,000 a month, and the perceived likelihood of success 100%, the best way that we can make the time delay variable as appealing as possible as a part of the offer is to make the result instant, right? There's 0 time delay. Because if we can make it, again, I'll go back to that $10 million example, right? If you can make this, the dream outcome is making $10 million, and the perceived likelihood of success is 100%, and now the time delay is 0, which means it's instant, that is a very, very appealing offer, right? You could sell that to absolutely anybody. $10 million, 100% chance of achieving it instantly. That's a very, very appealing offer, right? And if we use the roofing example, making $100,000 a month, it's 100% chance of success, and it's going to happen instantly, that's a very, very appealing offer, right? But if we use a more realistic example, let's say similar to our offer, we'll get you 20 to 30 estimates with probably about an 85% likelihood of success. It's never going to be 100, right? 85, 90% likelihood of success in about 60 to 90 days. That's a pretty appealing offer, right? And of course, the more you shorten the time delay, making it 30 days, 15 days, 1 day, etc., and closer to 100% success, it's going to make it more and more appealing. Now, the other variable on the bottom here is going to be, this is a big one, because of course, the time delay is a big factor, right? And we want to make that as low as humanly possible. We also want to make effort as low as humanly possible, because let's use that $10 million example again. If it's $10 million, 100% likelihood of success, and you get it in like a month, but the effort is you need to be doing all this extreme stuff. You need to be doing stuff, let's say you need to run a marathon every single day. You need to be putting out an hour-long long-form video every single day. You need to be paying extreme amounts of money every single day. That's a lot of effort and a lot of time that you need to put into that, right? So the effort for a lot of people might make that not worth it, which is going to happen a lot if you have very extreme effort required to achieve the desired outcome for your offer. And so for us, for example, the way we frame it to make our offer very, very appealing, which we'll kind of get into in a second when we construct an example offer, is let's say we'll get you 20 to 30 estimates a month. It's about an 85-90% perceived likelihood of success. We'll take about 60 to 90 days to get to that point. And the effort is very low for the business because it's completely done for you on our side. So the effort is simply make sure you go through the onboarding process and you submit our surveys after estimates so we have feedback. That's it. That's all the effort they need to do. It's very, very minimal, which increases the overall appeal of the offer. Because if instead the effort they had to do to achieve this outcome was, okay, instead you're going to need to build all your ad campaigns out, you're going to need to set up all the back-end automations, you're going to need to track everything. Most businesses, even though it's still a great offer in these other three aspects, the effort required on the business's end might negate that and just might make the offer entirely not worth it to the business anymore. And so that is why all of these variables work in tandem, and increasing the dream outcome and perceived likelihood of success to be as high as possible while making the time delay and the effort as low as possible is the exact way that you go about making a very, very appealing offer for your agency. All right, now that we've covered the value equation, what is an offer, outcome-based versus feature-based offer, we want to get to the point here where we are going to construct an offer. But before we do that, I want to cover what are the main components of an offer. Components of an offer. Now, when it comes to the components of an offer, there are 6 main components to an offer that you want to consider. 6 components of an offer. Number 1 is the outcome itself. What can they expect? Outcome of the offer. For example, 20 estimates per month for the roofing company. That is the outcome. What is the result that they're going to get by working with you? That is number 1, that is the outcome. Now, number 2, the mechanism. How are we going to achieve that outcome? Is it going to be paid ads that we're going to do? Is it going to be back-end systems? Is it going to be AI systems? How are we going to achieve this above outcome? What is the mechanism? That is the second component. The third component of the offer is risk reversal. Now, what is risk reversal? Very, very simple. It is to build trust. It is to assure the client that you can achieve the outcome with the mechanism that you mentioned. Risk reversal, for example, is using all of these 20 to 30 estimates by running your paid ads and booking your appointments with AI, or you get your money back in 30 days. Risk reversal is a money back guarantee. We'll work with you for free. These types of things. That's what a risk reversal is. It assures the client or the customer that you can actually do what you say you're going to do. And that, of course, adds a lot of value to your offer, builds a lot of credibility. Number 4 is the guarantee. And a lot of people mix up the risk reversal guarantee and get them kind of overlapped. The guarantee is very simple. It is just what can you promise to the client without fail? What can you absolutely guarantee to the client without fail? And now when all of these 4 here work together, let's say, for example, we will get you 20 to 30 estimates guaranteed, and let's say 20 to 30, maybe that's not doable. So you tell the client, we expect to get you 20 to 30, but we guarantee we will minimum get you 15 estimates per month by running your paid ads and using AI to book those appointments and qualify them, or you get your money back in 30 days. That is all 4 of these tied together. We will get you 15 estimates guaranteed per month by running your paid ads and using AI to book your appointments, or you get your money back in 30 days and we'll work for free. That's an example of putting all 4 of these together. Now, number 5 is scarcity and urgency. What are things that you can use to increase the chance that somebody decides to work with you and be interested in your offer now rather than in the future? Scarcity is we have 3 spots left. We have 3 spots this month. We can only work with 3 companies because of how much effort we put in every month. So we can only take in 3 more, and we've already taken on 3. Let's say we take 5 per month. We've already taken 2. We only have 3 spots left for what we can handle each month. Urgency, for example, would be similar to that. You might have a limited amount of spots, which is more so the scarcity side. Urgency is we have 2. Urgency could be along the lines if you have time-sensitive bonuses, for example. We have a special ad targeting that is limited to this month. We have we will be providing extra templates for sales. We'll provide sales coaching in addition to our offer, which we don't normally do. Those types of things go into the scarcity and urgency section, which is the 5th component of the offer. And now number 6 is bonuses. And now this, you might be thinking, the bonuses kind of overlap a bit with the scarcity and urgency. You can use bonuses, limited time bonuses, to build urgency and scarcity. And so now, if we were to use all of these together, right, we put all of them together to create a very irresistible offer. Let's say we guarantee we will get you the outcome, 15 estimates per month, guaranteed. And now let's check these off as we go so you can see as they're being used, right? So 15 estimates is the outcome, right? 15 estimates guaranteed per month by running your ads and using AI to qualify and schedule these estimates, or you don't pay after 30 days and we'll work with you for free. And if you start now, you will get extra sales coaching, which is a bonus, but we only have this for the next 30 days, which creates urgency, and we can only work with 3 more businesses this month, which is scarcity. And so that is how you create an irresistible offer, by utilizing these 6 components of an offer. Now, another thing I want to touch on is the psychology behind an offer. Why do people buy, and what can you do psychologically to make them more induced to buy from you? And so, firstly, people do not buy things, they buy outcomes. So as we mentioned, focusing on an outcome-based offer is the first thing you can get to have someone psychologically more invested into what you have to sell them. And so your offer needs to reduce friction and increase clarity. Reduce friction, increase clarity, because the more friction you have, obviously, is going to repel clients and make it more difficult for them to close. Where if you have increased clarity, of course, the client is going to see your offer much more clearly, more appealing. They're going to see exactly what it is that you do for them. So you need to make sure your offer is laid out very, very clearly, and you don't have any sort of unclear aspects that can cause potential friction to the client. And so, again, I'm going to continue the psychological section right here because we're running out of space. But what are the main reasons that somebody does not buy? What are the main reasons that someone will not buy? There are 4. 1 is an unclear outcome. If your outcome is unclear, the client is not going to know what to expect. They're not going to know what the offer is supposed to do for them, which instead of increasing clarity, increases friction. And that is not what you want to be doing. Now, number 2, what is it that can cause them to not buy? Number 2 is a lack of belief that they will succeed. If they do not think they're going to succeed with your offer, they are not going to buy. That is very, very self-explanatory. That is something that you have probably felt when you have bought offers or been interested in offers. If you don't think it is going to work for you, or you don't think you are going to succeed with it, why are you going to buy it? And that is why here we need to increase the perceived likelihood of success with things like risk reversals and guarantees. That is how you increase the lack of belief. That is how you increase the belief that the client will succeed with your offer. And now, to deal with the unclear outcome is having a clear outcome and clear mechanisms behind it, potentially bonuses to also add to the outcome and the mechanism that you're going to be using to fulfill the outcome that you promised. And again, number 3 here is high perceived effort or time. And again, this comes back to the bottom of the value equation. If they think it's going to take a lot of effort to achieve the outcome or a lot of time to achieve the outcome, they are not going to be interested in the offer. If it takes a year to get the desired result, it's probably going to be a lot less appealing. You're going to have a lot tougher time closing people than if it takes 30 days or 60 days or 3 months to get that desired result, right? We've already touched on this with the value equation, but that is a very, very big one and a huge factor in why people do not close on their offers. Because if there's a high amount of effort required, a high amount of time, people are not going to be interested. And now, number 4 is risk feels too high. If the risk feels too high, the client is not going to be interested in the offer. And now, similar to the lack of belief, the risk feels too high. These can both be solved with having a very effective and very strong risk reversal and very strong guarantee. Because of course the risk is not going to feel too high if you guarantee a full money back for the client if they don't achieve the outcome, right? That's our guarantee. We guarantee a full money back refund if we don't get them the desired result. And that is very, very powerful for getting clients to eliminate the risk that they feel and increase the belief that they will achieve the outcome you promised. So now that we have covered all the most important aspects when it comes to creating your offer, how to create an outcome-based offer versus a feature-based offer, and why outcome-based offers are more effective, the very basic components of the offer, the 6 components to implement to increase the psychological impact that you'll have on clients to make your offer more appealing, the main 4 reasons that clients do not purchase your offer and how to effectively solve them with these 6 main components of an offer, and the value equation to implement. And make sure, don't forget, increase the top 2 variables of the value equation, lower the bottom 2 variables as much as you can, and you will create a very, very effective offer. Never forget this question I wrote right here. What transformation will I experience? Keep that in mind. Your client's going to be asking themselves nonstop, which is why you need to create a bulletproof offer using everything we covered here. Go ahead, create an offer, test it out. You're going to need to see market feedback. You're going to create an offer using those 6 components right there. You're going to bring it to market. You're going to see how the market reacts, iterate it, improve it. And you will find that, hey, if the market responds very, very good, you probably have a great offer. If they don't respond too good, maybe take a look at your outcome. Is it not appealing enough? Is your risk reversal not good enough? Is your guarantee not strong enough? Is your dream outcome not amazing enough? Is the perceived likelihood of success too low? Is the time delay too high? Is the effort too high? And play around with those variables until you have an amazing offer that is doing well in the market. You are closing deals. And once you have that amazing offer, every other section we're going to be going over throughout this mini series here is going to be very, very important, but the offer is the foundation of all of it. Make sure you have a good offer. Everything that we cover in the next few videos will be so much easier to capitalize on. So I hope this provided value on the offer side of things, and I'll see you in the next one.